Dear students, good morning. Today let us learn the concepts of international business dynamics. Why the word international is used here? And you know what is a business? It's the exchange of goods and services in the required in any of the market in any of market. Why the word international is used here is you are studying the business environment in international level. You are starting your business outside country. What I mean to say is, due to globalization, world become local, right? Globe become local. Why? Because of technology, because of liberalization, we are able to move to other countries to start our business. I mean to say, not to all the countries. We are not shifting to all the countries. We are shifting our business, or we are extending our business to another country where our business can be promoted. We have a set of customers there in that country. So to meet those things, what are all the prerequisites we have to have? Another thing why international word is important in this scenario is, sitting here in Bangalore, we are able to sell goods to a person in Europe, right? Because of e-commerce, everything is possible. Along with that, physically, if you want to start some business in Europe, Europe has it is European Union, right? It they have their set of rules and regulations. When we start the business there, we should be able to understand whether my business can be promoted there. If I want to start a steel factory in United States, what are all the environmental factors I have to consider? Is mining permitted there? If it is permitted, to what extent? Illegal mining is happening or not? Many things we have to study to start the business, because we are playing the game in another country where every environment, political environment, ecological environment, economical environment, social environment, legal environment, everything is new to us. That is why we have to have some kind of research to start the business in the international level, in the targeted country. That is why, being a management student, we should be able to understand why this subject is part of the study. It is, as you are aware, Bangalore University uh, uni syllabus. This is a common subject for all the majors, right? For HR, for marketing, for finance, for all, it is the common subject. Why it became common subject? Why university specified this particular subject to be common? Because commonly every student should be aware of this business environment. What are all the dynamics of it? What are the aspects of this? And why, how, when we should be understood, right? Moving on to the objective of, mainly, let's understand that to make students to learn how business and organizations operate in an international environment. Here, the word environment is not only the environmental factors. This is related to all our pestle analysis, like political, economical, social, technological, environmental, legal environments, right? So we have to know the basics of all this, then only we are able to start the business. To understand the impact of international influences on the business, see, when we start the business in India, because of globalization, several players are there, right? Several countries, if you think about IT, information technology. Bangalore is targeted, right? We have IBM here, we have Accenture here, we have Cognizant here, we have IBM here, we have DXC Technologies here. Many companies are here. They are competing with each other. Utilizing the local resources, they are competing. They are gaining the profit, right? So when it comes to India, when an Indian company wants to start newly, or Infosys or Wipro, like local players also will be affected because of these companies' presence. Wipro also produces computers, Dell also produces computer. They also sell the computers in Indian market. Wipro also sells computers in Indian market. Due to this international, what we can call, uh, international trade, we are or local players also will be affected. That is why the whether you have to study international influences. The third one, to help the students to plan career in international business. Because everyone wants to migrate, everyone wants to earn in dollars, everyone wants to get settled in some hi-fi countries like USA or European countries where life is comfortable, dollars we can earn and we can enjoy the life. So being a student, how you are able to design your career in international business, that is also part of the objective. Coming to the next slide, let's look into what is the basic definition of international business. Let us discuss our core syllabus from here. The international business means the buying and selling of the goods and services across the border. See, this word says across the border, means we have to go to the other countries and we have to trade. We have to do the business in the new market, new set sorry, new set of customers with new prices, right? A new product, everything. It may be existing, but you should be able to customize that product to that particular market. Here, national border is crossed by the enterprises to expand their own business activities such as the manufacturing, mining, construction, agriculture, banking, insurance, health, healthcare, education, transportation, communication, so and on. See, here education also considered as the business, because nowadays WTO, World Trade Organization, is putting education under commodities. It is commodities like day to day what we require, no? That is commodity. So it is putting under that category so that international business players or international education center like Harvard universities, Oxford universities can come to India and start their own colleges here. So if they come, what happens to the local players? So WTA thinks that education also should be commercialized. This is very strange game. Let us discuss in the later part of this. So manufacturing, mining, construction, agriculture, banking, insurance, health, transportation, communication. Yes, these are all meant for making money, making profit, or to do the business, right? You have to study whether my business, if I'm into production, my business should be able to gain something over there if I start any manufacturing unit in selected countries. So moving on to next slide, the business enterprise who goes for the international business has to take a very wide and long view before before making any decision. That's what we discussed now. It has to refer to the social, political, historical, cultural, geographical, physical, ecological, economic aspects of of another country where it had to do the business. We already discussed why it is important. International business by its nature is the primary determinant of international trade. One of the results of the increasing success of international business ventures is globalization. It is the globalization is meant for doing the business to open up. All global, all countries come on a same platform, and they should negotiate themselves what to be done, what not to be done. To do this, what are all the prerequisitions required, and how government will support, how the local resources can be utilized. Those things they have to sit and discuss. And that trade negotiations or agreements, whatever that may be, both the country leaders can sit together and they can come into an agreement. International business is the process of focusing on the resources of the globe and objectives of organization on on global business opportunities and threats. Here, every company has to know their strength and weaknesses. If they are strong in certain areas, uh, whether that strength can be utilized to reap the profit. If I am finding some weakness in my organization, how I can overcome this by expanding my business into another countries. So I have to go and tie up with the local player so that my weaknesses can be reduced and that can be overcome. And so in this chapter, the international business is defined as the global trade of the global sorry the international business is defined as the global trade of goods and services or investment. Here investment also new one, where the capital surplus is there. So they, if they keep in the bank, it reaps very low in return in the year. If it is invested in the real estate or in the insurance or in any other sector, definitely the profit will be more. That is why investment also part of the international business. Let us discuss the introduction, drivers and benefits of international business in deep. So this particular slide reads about drivers of international business, right? So what do you mean by the drivers? Driving force to be an international entity. So what makes them to go abroad? These are the factors. Let's start with the expanding the production capacities. Because my market is saturated. Indian market, whatever I have to play, I am playing. I am reaping profit. I have good market share. Then where I have to expand my business, I have to look for the new market, new place, right? A new country. So new countries can help us. They will come. We have to find where I have to expand the production capacities, where I am able to get the raw materials, skilled labors, power, land, water, everything is required to produce something, right? That is why when another country is ready to offer all these resources, when I have surplus fund and other things, I am able to expand my business. So that is the one of the driving force. Second one is the limited home market. So my home market is saturated. I am playing in India. My total income, whatever I'm producing in India, everything I'm selling. So I'm reaping profit. So my market is limited here. I am looking for new exposures, right? This is very important. So political stability versus political instability. If you find any countries which is very politically very strong, good leadership, good laws which are helping the business or customizable, they are able to alter according to the situation. That kind of politicians or political environment helps us to grow in the business. That also part of the international business. They also a driving force behind the expansion or going for the international business. Availability of technology and competent human resources. See, this is one of the important things to expand the business. When technology is, see, if you compare the technological advancement in India and US, we are far, far behind, right? So when we think about expansion in US, we are able to utilize the latest technologies, but when come to human resources, yes, you will get competent human resources, but what the payout will be, what the salary package will be, what the compensation will be, what are the other benefits we have to offer to them according to that country standards, are we able to afford to all that? No, we have to think upon that. Why companies come to India or China? Because of the low salary we are paying to the skilled laborers, right? That is why we should be competitive. Meanwhile, we should drawings or payout also should be reduced. Think upon all those things. High cost transportation in present in where I'm in that country, I'm incurring hell lot of transportation cost. That is why I have to look for the transportation cost where I am able to reduce that transportation cost. Third, availability of raw materials. It is very important to expand any of the businesses. Raw material is the primary requirement of any of the production or any service industry. Liberalization and globalization. Liberalization is nothing but when the law or the legal aspects can be customized, the legal hurdles can be minimized, the political or the government of that particular country will undertake, will give priorities for expansion rather than putting them because of these laws we are not able to do this. No, we are able to customize it, we are able to liberalize them, right? If you expand, if you promote tourism in India, we have to liberalize the visa system. For 6 months back, you have to apply. Today I'm going to get the visa, then the tourist will fly to India, then it will be a long process. So liberalization led to the visa on arrival, right, which boosted tourism industry. Here, any tourist, if he wants, if he has a short duration of leave or vacation, he can immediately plan to go India, and he will get the visa here. Only for the selected countries, India has liberalized these things. So growth in market share. Anywhere, if you find any company wants to acquire more market share than the competitors. If you think about automobile industry in India, where you find Maruti cars, or Maruti Suzuki has more market share than other cars. If you put if you take the market share of Maruti Suzuki, it is around 53% to 60% in the present scenario, where other players like Hyundai, Toyota or Audi, whichever you take, all will be putting the across around 50 to 53, means around 40 to 47% they are having. So here Maruti has established its brand in Indians mindset. Moreover, cheap car with safety measures, good mileage, less maintenance, everything is packed in Maruti, so that people prefer to buy that. They have to maintain it, but other competitors always try to grab the market share, right? Another example I can give is Jio. In telecommunication, Jio and Airtel are uh, competitors. When Jio introduced, Airtel customer migrated to Jio because of many offers, right? So Jio acquired a lot of customers. They grabbed the customers from other competitors. So here market share of Jio expanded like anything. Higher rate of profits. Yes, no doubt, because your market share is not saturated. You are finding the new market, new set of customers. That their purchasing power may be high compared to the home market, so you're able to charge more for them. They will be ready to pay therein, wherein you are able to earn more profit. Likewise, international trade always helps to the companies to grow more, to acquire more market share and expansion, recognition, everything will be part of this international business.